So here we are. We're standing on the verge of getting it on. Now, so the bottom of the bottom is junk food eaters. We got something to raise you up. The above them are the fast food eaters. We got something to raise you up. Above them is, believe it or not, above those two is the standard American diet. They call it what? What's the acronym? SAD. SAD. It is. Is it sad? It's sad. Let alone soul food. If you add the soul food element to standard American diet, many times, not always, because grandmama had some science and some wisdom in that kitchen that we are now doing our best to recover. Grandmama knew when that baby's sick what to put in that baby's belly. Didn't she? She knew that grandma knew how to go out in that yard, out in that woods, and pull some poke weeds over here and some dandelion greens over here and pull this one and that. You got a cut. Grandmama said, let me pack that cut with some nettles. I had a cut a couple weeks ago. Myself, a meat cleaver, and a coconut. It was not a good day for me in that equation. The meat cleaver didn't do so well either. The coconut came out and said, hey, I'll win this one. So I had to deal with it, you know, and it was in there, and it said, well, that one is a stitches one. And my lady, she grabbed some nettles, ground them up, crushed up some fresh nettles that we had in there, and packed it. I just put cold water on it and bled it for a few minutes, packed it with them nettles, wrapped it up and bound it, and went on about my business. Doctor, I win this one, and you lose again. 30 years I've held them doctors at bay, and I'm going for 30 years more. I do not go to doctors. I'm afraid of them because they wear white coats. I'm afraid of people in white coats. So here we are. So there is SAD. How many people in here eat SAD, standard American diet? Burgers and chicken and potatoes and fried foods and sugar drinks, high fructose corn syrup drinks and fizzy drinks and meatloaf and other stuff, pancakes and bread. All of that is standard. All that's standard American diet. Now we can move up. So standard American diet people, we got you covered. Recently we came up with our own formula for meatloaf and mashed potatoes, all living food. The meatloaf was made with soaked almonds, soaked walnuts, soaked sunflower seeds, portobello mushrooms, and the spices. We mix all that up in the processor, put it in the dehydrator, and you could have sworn I had backtracked and was eating meatloaf. It was meatloaf, but no cows cried during the process because their babies weren't slaughtered. And the mashed potatoes were made out of cauliflower and cashews. And we made the gravy out of miso and some other spices and everything, and it was awesome. It was awesome. So standard American diet eaters, we got you covered. Then there's modified SAD. What is modified SAD? Somebody tell me, what is modified standard American diet? Well, I don't eat pork. How many people don't eat pork? And you're eating SAD, but you don't eat pork. Now, how many people, if you eat the pork, don't eat the pork, but you eat the chicken? How many people don't eat pork but do eat chicken? Raise your hand. The chicken ain't nothing but a pig with wings. I've been saying that for years. Brother Jabari, wasn't I the first one to tell people don't do the ultrasound on the pregnancies? Took them 8 years before the newspapers put that on the front page. There was something else the other day. Somebody came back and said, dang, Keidi, you was talking about this for years. They finally admitting it. And I've been saying the same thing about the chicken and the pig. They're the same creature. One of them got wings, and the other one says oink. You don't believe me, do you? I don't eat the pork. Okay. The big white pig, is that a natural animal or an artificially genetically modified organism? What about that big white chicken? Grows twice as big, twice as fast. Is that a real creature? Or you ever seen a real pig? Anybody ever seen a real pig? They're brown and red and black and hairy and mean and lean and fast. And go and find a real pig and then go say, real pig, just sit over there. I'm going to go grab your babies and run away with them. What's real pig going to say?
Kill you.
Real pig will look at you and say, I do eat meat. You want my babies? Come on in here. Come after the babies over here. Come on in here. Real pig, No, they don't play it. Plus, a real pig don't eat out of its own slop. Real pig live out there in the woods. They poop in one place, they eat in another place. What about a chicken?
Colorful.
You ever seen a real chicken before? Colorful, they're red, they're black, they're brown. They live up in the woods, so they get the big white chicken, put that thing in the woods. Somebody gonna eat tonight. The big white pig, put that thing in the woods. Somebody gonna eat tonight. But the real chicken, go try and take its babies. What will it do? That real rooster will be there. Unlike a lot of brothers, the real roosters say, I take care of my family, and you ain't taking these babies. You'll take me, and then the babies will escape while I fight to the last core of my life. Real rooster is a mean little creature, and they are lean and mean. They are not twice as big, twice as fast. So we got the fake chicken and fake. Okay, they say, what about when you cook the chicken? They would say, what about your utensils and your knives and cutting board? What do you got to do with it? Wash it, wash it, wash it, wash it, wash it. Got to heat everything over 140 degrees. Why? Parasites. Parasites in it. Well, what about the pig? Is he got parasites? Pig is full of parasites. Chicken full of parasites. Full of steroids and hormones and antibiotics to make them grow that fast. What about the pig? What about chicken? Same thing. One got wings, the other one says oink. So think about that, modified. But that's okay. Modified, sad, we got you covered. We were planning on a dish today, but unfortunately I left the textured vegetable protein home. And we're going to use the TVP, which is not living food, but we're going to put it into a living food dish for those people who need the bridge. But we make a mock chicken, but we did make a mock tuna fish. How many of you eat seafood? You like seafood? What's your favorite seafood? Shrimp? So you like shrimp, the bottom feeder? They eat off the bottom. What's on top of the bottom of the ocean? 200 years of industrial pollution. Heavy metals, mercury, cadmium, lead. Now, if you're going to eat shrimp, you can eat the shrimps, or shrimps as white people call them. You can eat the shrimps. I'm black. But you have to chelate. You have to remove toxic heavy minerals out of your body. I have eaten shrimp before, so I'm still chelating. And I haven't eaten shrimps in 25 years. And I'm still chelated, still getting toxic heavy metals out of my body from cavities, fillings, only one filling in there, et cetera, lead and waste in the air and everything. We're living in an urban environment. We all got to be chelating, taking the toxic out on the cellular level so that the DNA wakes back up again. When you
As we move on, we understand that there are reasons why our health has deteriorated as it should. And I asked a question at the beginning, what is the worst thing that we consume that is really damaging to our health? By show of hands. Yes, dear. Sugar. Okay, good answer. Anyone else? Grease. Really good answer. Anyone else? Salt. Great. Anyone? That's it?
Pork chops.
Alcohol, pork chops. There's a lot more pork that's worse than the chops. But, yep, pork chops. What else? Flour, good answer. Caffeine, sure. All righty. Sodas, good answer. I don't agree with any of you. I don't agree with any of you. My answer is you consume low self-esteem. You consume that your value is not high enough, that you would not allow this to even enter into your thought process, let alone your body. We've got to now recognize our value. We have the wrong self-image. As long as you have the wrong self-image, you're going to keep doing the wrong thing. So we now have to adjust our self-image. The worst thing that we consume is the fact that we are not as valuable as we should be. I'll give you the example. We got a Rolls Royce, and can you imagine putting cheap fuel in your Rolls Royce? Couldn't imagine it, right? Why not? Not going to run right. Not going to last long, right? Won't hold its value. You couldn't imagine doing it. But how many of us, over the course of the last week, we stopped off at a fast food joint? I know I'm talking to the wrong crowd here because I know it's not us. But for the camera, you know. How many of us stopped off at the fast food joint? Of course, some of us did. Absolutely. How many of us drank some soda? Ate some white flour? Did a little bit of pork? No pork? Okay, good, good. Is that unanimous? Oh, a little bit of pork. Okay. So we do all of those things because we don't have the appropriate self-worth. We don't have the appropriate self-image. Our self-image is off. And I could go down, and I know I've done it. Let me ask the question. How many of you heard my lecture before? Okay. All right. I could go down some reasons why we know that the consumption of flesh is not the right thing to do, but I'll start with those who've heard my lecture before. What is it? What are the reasons why we know we shouldn't consume flesh? Students, you all heard me before. Hello. You forgot purposefully?
We're not natural meat eaters.
We're not natural meat eaters. Why do we know that?
Because we have to cook our meat.
Okay.
Because meat eaters, carnivores, eat it raw.
Eat it raw while it's still wriggling on the ground. Our intestines are longer, yeah? Our teeth are right for masticating. Mm-hmm. Got molars. What else? Anybody? We don't have claws, right? Anything else? There's a little bit more. There's a whole lot more. You go out on the internet, you start reading. We recognize that the digestion time inside of the body should be, in order for it to pass from the stomach, 2 to 4 hours at most. Dead flesh is 8 to 12 hours. Now understand this. I want y'all notice I called it dead flesh. It takes on a whole nother meaning when you call it dead flesh. When I ask people and I do a consultation with them, I say, oh, do you still consume dead flesh? And yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But it puts a whole other thought process on you that you realize that, well, wait a minute, yeah, I guess that is dead flesh. It's this, just like that dead deer and that dead possum and raccoon on the side of the road. It's dead flesh. And we talked about when you're riding down the street in your Cadillac Escalade and you see that dead animal on the road, do you run over it? Why not?
That's my Cadillac.
Because it might mess up your car. Might make your car stink. Might get some stains up on your car, right? And then we look at, the person driving in the vehicle, and they might have a bucket next to them with some chicken. They ain't got no problem putting that same dead animal up to these lips. Something's wrong with our thinking. We got the wrong self-image. So as we go through and we inventory what it is that I'm going to share with you tonight, I pray that you understand the goal is to cause you to feel better about yourself.